You learn the basics of the technical skills. There are several other technical skills you'll learn throughout the course of your career, such as repairing items and modifying weapons. The cyber interfaces for these tasks are similar to the hacking interface. Before you enlist in the Navy, try out the other training courses. They'll be useful.
Spoiler alert, I probably will not go for the repair skill at all. You've already seen a demonstration of repair, and I'm not a big fan of that skill as a whole. You might see me get the modify skill, though.
Inside, you will learn how to reach out with your mind. Do not let fear block your path. We've provided you with a virtual interface and the temporary ability to project simulated psionic powers. Once you leave this area, these powers will be lost to you.
And you notice how they've decreased that red meter in the lower left. You'll see why in a second.
The red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have. Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, psi hypos, well, both the psi and med hypos in easy restore quite a bit more. I believe it's 30 psi points in easy, but otherwise it's only 20. Don't get me started in impossible mode, because I've never touched that difficulty.
This psi amp amplifies your psi powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the psi amp activates your currently selected psi discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, cryokinesis and kinetic redirection. Go into use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen. This will cycle through your available psi disciplines. Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select psi disciplines from higher tiers. Use cryokinesis to destroy the robot and kinetic redirection to pull that anion container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of psi points, use another psi hypo.
I thought it more expedient to actually demonstrate augmenting and burnout. By the way, if you've got it set up, you can bind a hotkey to switch your psi disciplines on the fly in shoot mode. In my case, F1 through F5. So, like, go to psi pull here. Whoops. I just knocked it off there by accident. Something around like that. Spoiler alert, I probably will not do much in the way of psionics. It's a handy thing, but I already have an idea what I'm building. And I'll get a few of the lower powers, and may do an exhibition afterwards where I show off every power in the game, but the main playthrough will not use much psi. Anyways, that's it for psionics training and advanced training in general.
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process. Return to this area if you need more guidance. Before you enlist in the OSA, it would be useful to experiment in the other training courses.
Alright, decision time.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. A shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
OSA is the psionics branch. Navy is the technical branch. Marines is mostly the weapons branch. If you pick Navy or Marines, you do not get a single psi point at all. If you pick OSA, you don't get any weapon skills at all. Basically, the bonus of the first 3, Marines and Navy, you automatically get +1 in standard weapons. OSA, you automatically get access to Tier 1 disciplines. And really, you're going to have access to Tier 2 disciplines by the end of your OSA tour of duty. Also, you probably already noticed that I'm not using any high-definition patches. It's because my computer is kind of iffy, and I want to make sure to get this done the normal way, rather than fancy it up for everyone. You're going to see how this was in 1999. I may consider going through later with like a co-op video or two that does things with high definition patches, but don't count on it. Anyway, I decided when doing the setup that we were going to play the Marines. So let's get to it. Alright. I don't know exactly... I didn't memorize exactly which ships we land on for each one, but we're about to find out for the Marines. I may go through some of this with Navy and OSA in a bonus video, but I've spent enough time here already. Let's go.
Welcome to Space Station Wake Island, Marine. So you've survived basic training at Camp Lejeune. Better still, you've managed to learn a thing or two about standard weapons. But now it's time for the real deal. Your tour of duty will consist of 4 postings over 4 years. The Corps demands a lot of you, grunts, but the Corps is generous. You get to choose your own postings. Head up to the shuttle bays in the center of the Wake Island, and you'll be briefed on what's ahead. When you find the right posting, head into that bay to accept the assignment. Good luck, Marine.
So yeah, not really much to say on that. I will be checking the windows on occasion to see if there's any weird Easter eggs that come up. Okay. First one on the Marines. You can go for +2 strength, +2 endurance, or +2 agility. Let's hear what he has to say for each of these.
If you're partial to spending time with a lot of high explosives, this posting is for you. There's a lot of heavy lifting, but Ordnance also gets the first pick of booze and other goodies coming aboard the supply ship Gallo. Lock and load.
He's not kidding. The heavy weapons category tends to require a fairly high amount of strength.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros, there's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons, the 21.2% mortality rate. Plus, you've got to spend the year with a bunch of Navy skanks.
Endurance would be more useful on easy mode or normal mode when you get more points, more hit points per endurance point. In hard and impossible, I should go over the differences of hard next video. In hard and impossible, you only get like 3 hit points per endurance point, so it's not useful at all. Not really. Though, I suppose the hit points, though less proportionally, get much more valuable.
Not every boarding party has the luxury of gravity, so the Corps strongly recommends every one of its brethren getting some zero-G training. A year aboard the training station Guadalcanal should suffice.
Yeah. Agility is required for a couple weapons, but it's mainly just about running faster. I think it also reduces fall damage. However, because of one of the weapons we're going to be getting later on, I am going to start this one with +2 agility. I might display these messages in a later video too. Alright. Year 2 of the Marines. Energy weapons and cyber affinity, heavy weapons and cyber affinity, or +2 more standard weapons.
A tour of duty aboard the Antigua should let you pick up some one-on-one beam weapon training from Gunnery Sergeant Malloy. But heads up, she's a world-class SOB.
If you pick this one, not only do you get the energy weapons and cyber affinity bonus, but you actually start with a poor condition laser pistol. Kind of handy early on when you're fairly limited in your weapon selection. Also, keep in mind the name Antigua. We're going to be seeing it in Year 3.
The automated asteroid ore facilities in JM-432 supply the UNN shipyards, so they're crucial to defense. However, they're also prime candidates for hackers. Somebody's gotten their claws into the primary data loop, and they need a team to head in there and blast their way past the automated defense systems.
If you pick this one, you get a poor condition grenade launcher and like 2 or 3 grenades. And I'm kind of mixed about that one. Sure, it's nice to have some heavy firepower, but you don't really need a grenade launcher until like the 3rd deck.
Dummy ammunition, live ammunition, moving targets, stationary targets, live targets. The Port MacArthur training facility has enough hardware to warm the heart of any leatherneck.
There's no benefit, like, inventory-wise from picking this one, although you do get to use shotguns right away, be able to use shotguns as soon as you find one. However, I should also point out that in normal and higher difficulties, this option is actually less efficient in terms of cyber modules. Something to keep in mind. For this playthrough, I plan to go with energy weapons as my starting pick for this one.
Should let you pick up some one-on-one.
Notice that the gunnery sergeant snaps. You're going to see something that might tie into this in this episode. But first, a little Easter egg. If he'll do it. Imagine your own music. I will not be dubbing in the music for that one. So, +1 maintenance, +1 modify, and +1 repair. The Marines are the only faction to not have a research option in their starting picks.
The UNN Secretary General's office needs a full staff of armed guards. When things are dull, it requires a lot of standing around looking good in a uniform. When things are bad, it can require fending off a Psi-terrorist assault.
If you pick this one, you get a maintenance tool right off the bat. You don't want to use maintenance tools at level 1 maintenance, though. You want to wait until at least 2 or 3 to make them really worth it.
The Polides trading station has long been a haven for the black market. However, up until now, they have not interfered with the running of station operations. Recent reports indicate that the Polides command staff has been overthrown, and the station is under the control of a self-appointed magnate. This must be rectified, and a Marine presence maintained on the station. The Colony Air Service gets the dregs of the fleet, and the Antigua is the dregs of the dregs. You'll learn a lot about recalcitrant machinery on a tour of duty aboard the Antigua, if it doesn't blow you to hell and back first.
Yeah, this is the ship we were just on in Year 2. I apologize for not saying anything about Modify. You don't need it early on in the game when you don't really have a decent set of weapons to work with. It'll just soak up your nanites. Repair is more useful early, but like I said, I'm not going to be going with Repair. Anyways, back in 1 second. And this is basically the end of the overarching introduction. I'll shut up for cutscenes and see you on the MedSci deck. This is Frosty,
UNN Secretary
signing
General's
out.
office needs a full staff of armed...
Shuttle A-138, you have clearance for landing on the Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
Reinitializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the Computer Ops Staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now.